Well, good evening, race fans, and welcome out here to the Hickory Motor Speedway for what is going to be a great night of racing. As the season finale comes down to it all here tonight, and it is going to be a nail-biter right to the end. A mere 7 points separate Brett the Jet Hahn, your defending champion, against Braxton DeWeese here in the Summer Sizzler Series presented by the hometown Sunoco of Cutlerville. And we thank them for supporting the ASRC Sunoco Invitational Series here this summer, located just south of Grand Rapids. We can't thank them enough for being the presenting sponsor for that. And tonight, Braxton DeWeese comes in 7 points behind. He'll have to do shotgun on the field, but that is a 15-point bonus if he can get through the field in 125 laps and win tonight's race. Brett Hahn has that 7-point lead, and he will not have to come from the tail. The good news for you, those tuning in, just 12 cars in there, so a small, tight field, but there is a very tight field of race cars here this evening. We also want to thank Talarico's Boardwalk Subs, Jersey-style soup, subs, and salads, serving West Michigan. Pro Coat Powder Coating, going to give out some nice cold hard cash to all the drivers making a perfect attendance this summer here in the American Sim Racing Club's Sunoco Invitational Series. Bubba's Bout Broke podcast, featuring your short track racers from across the country each and every Monday on Apple and Spotify. Check out Bubba's Bout Broke podcast, featuring your favorite local racer. And LaPlante Racing Products, the proud sponsor of the Triple Crown Series for the Super Late Model Invitational Series. And just like that, we are going to get ready to go with our one and only heat race for the evening. You can see it on the race down here getting populated, and it is going to be an exciting one here tonight. This is your starting lineup for that. Braxton DeWeese set fast time in qualifying. He'll have to go to the tail of the field, though. Andrew Payne will start second. Charles Darling and Devin McDonald make up row number 2. Row number 3 is going to be Scott Nietzsche and Braden Cook. Brett Hahn, Zach Coyer make up row number 4. Row number 5, Jackson McLaren and Andrew Harding. And your final row will be David Payton and Tanner Del Rico. That is your 12-car field here tonight as we get ready to go with some great racing. As you see, Andrew Payne and Braxton DeWeese up there on the front of this one. And this racetrack will be very racy. 2 and 3 wide action you'll see all night long. And wait for the truck to hide that. We have a little bit of a difficulty here with our whatever it's doing. It'll get there. But Charles Darling now going to be on the front row with Andrew Payne. And remember, this heat race will set the starting lineup. And a good test for Braxton DeWeese to see what he's going to have to do. Green flag is up, and we are underway. Down here in the turn row 1, and it'll be Darling jumping up at an early race lead over the 93 of Payne. Brett Hahn in that 71 car running there in spot number 3 right now. He's going to try to get up there and get to the front as we got a bid for the race lead. Andrew Payne taking a look down to the inside of Darling. They'll go 2 by 2, first 2 rows deep. Jackson McLaren in that number 7 car trying to make some noise in that 7 car. Trying to make some move on the 49 of Braden Cook. He gets a little bit sideways there. Andrew Payne has the race lead for the time being. But here comes Darling back on the outside. Oh, hang on to it, Payne. Got a little bit sideways up off of turn number 2. Gonna hold on to its spot there as they work down here in turns 1 and 2. And this is a very unique racetrack. You gotta really hook and rotate that bottom. And Darling showing right now that in the outside lane, it might be the lane to beat. A little bit deeper in the back. The number 13 of Zach Coyer moving up. He is up a few spots, but your biggest chargers, that 38 of David Payton. They try to go 3 wide in front of your championship combatant. He is trying to make some moves here. Remember, this is a timed heat race here for heat race number 1. And Braxton is trying to figure out what it's going to take to come from the back of the pack. 125 laps is the distance, though, in tonight's feature event as we go on board with the LeBlanc Racing Products onboard camera with Braxton Luis. You see him trying to work underneath the 45 of Andrew Hardings. Meanwhile, back up at the front of this one, it is going to be the 88 of Darling. He's still showing the way. Andrew Payne now starting to work that inside lane, trying to make something happen. Everyone really knows the tail. Just 3 seconds separating first through last. Hopefully you guys are all doing pretty well out there and watching on YouTube. We thank you each and every week for coming on out. Make sure you hit that thumbs up. Let these drivers know that you appreciate their efforts each week. Chuck Darling back to the outside, rolling that outside as Andrew Payne unable to make any moves onto the inside, and I'm liking that for tonight's feature event. If we can see that. Now Payne going to try to go up into that third lane. That opens the inside for the 71 of Brett Hahn. Hahn back here in that 71 car, trying to make something happen. .130 to go. Braxton Luis has been able to make it up to the 9th spot after starting 12th here in the 6-minute heat race. And already working lap number 18 overall. So just under, probably right around 25 laps, which will be a 5th of tonight's feature event. So you got just making some mental notes, trying to figure out what it's going to take. Remember, 7 points separating the top 2. Brett Hahn and number 8 of Braxton Luis. 15-point bonus, though, on the line for Braxton Luis if he can come from the back of the pack and win here tonight, as Andrew Payne takes a look to the inside once again of Chuck Darling, and Darling able to hold off on that outside. Now Payne going to throw it down to the inside. Darling able to roll the outside, keeps the momentum built up with that number 88. Darling wanting that pole position for tonight's feature event. Glad to have you all out there watching. It's going to be a good event, and Braxton Luis takes another spot, looking to move up there. So right now there's a lot of note taken for all these drivers in this heat race, just trying to improve on their starting position for tonight's feature, try to take and figure out what's it going to take to get up towards the front and battle for this race lead. And you can see Chuck Darling, he has used the outside since the start of the race and really able to make some moves up there, and he's going to pick up the heat race win over Andrew Payne, Brett Hahn, Devin McDonald, McLaren, your top 5 here as we look to head into tonight's main event. Chuck Darling coming out here and making a statement as the field will go into their warm-up period. I believe it'll be a pretty short one as we get ready to go with tonight's main event. What do you think, race fans? It is gonna come right, I believe, right down to the last lap to decide who's gonna win this championship. Brett Hahn and Braxton Deweese, I tell you, they have put on a clinic all season long. Both drivers have 5 wins to the season. So it really comes right down to it. 5 wins, both of those drivers. Zach Nichols with 2 wins. Jackson Lewis had 2 wins on the season. Everyone else vying for whatever. We have Tanner Tallarico with 1 win and Hayden Swank with a win as well. So those are your race winners this season. But the points really shaking it down. 610 points for Brett Hahn, 603 for Braxton Deweese. Zach Coyer sits in 3rd place with 38-point lead over Jackson McLaren, who is 4th, and Devin McDonald rounding out your top 5 with 495 points on the season. And really that point lead could be a lot different. I'm looking here in the standings and I'm trying to remember back in the earlier part of the season, Deweese, I believe, had a point penalty, which is a pretty big point spread. He would be the point leader by 8 points if my memory serves me right. Either way, it's making for a great battle here this afternoon at Hickory Motor Speedway. This racetrack going to be very racy all night long. We missed Jason up in the booth with us, but he decided playing softball was a little bit more important. I don't understand that deal at all, but he'll be back, he says. We tried dragging him out tonight, but they had practice or something like that, so I know y'all miss Jason. Tanner Tallarico up on the racetrack. He is fast as Brett Hahn up on the racetrack, trying to get some extra laps in here. And as he does that, we're going to step away real quick. You're watching the American Sim Racing Club's Super Late Model Invitational presented by Sunoco. We will be right back.
Bowling brings people together.
Right down the middle. You got it. Uh-oh. Good job.
Do what you can do, man.
Wait.
That's a strike right there.
Woo!
Connect with family and friends. Go bowling.
Welcome back here to the American Sim Racing Club season finale at the Hickory Motor Speedway. The cars are gridded. This is your starting lineup. Charles Darling picked up the win in the heat race. Andrew Payne will roll off second. Brett Hahn third, and Devin McDonald be his dancing partner in row number 2. Row number 3 is going to see Jackson McLaren and David Payton rolling off 5th and 6th. 7th spot to the All-Star Race Integrity Racing number 13. This is Cold Beer, Zach Coyer. Braxton Deweese got up to the 8th spot. He'll have to fall to the tail of the field, though. Remember, Braden Cook will start 9th. Andrew Harding 10th. Tanner Tallarico and Scott Negis, your 12 car starting lineup as the field rolls around here. It is going to be a pretty exciting feature event, I do believe. Braxton Luis looking to come back. Chuck Darling on the point. Pace car, I believe, is about ready to pull down in. And we are green flag racing for the Sunoco Championship night here at the Hickory Motor Speedway. And Andrew Payne trying to work that outside, just like the 88 that Chuck Darling did in the heat race. Darling down to the inside, working there 2x2, couple cars together. We've got our Tallarico Boardwalk sub. Yellow flag coming out, I believe. Something happening towards the back of the field here. I don't see what triggered it. Let's take a look back here and see. See him working down into the corner. It's going to happen up in front of him. Oh, David Payton was turned sideways. Gets pointed back in the right direction, but the yellow flag comes out. Let's take a look here and see. Down in the corner. Oh, a little bit of bumper tag with a 45 car of Andrew Hardings, who has been pointed to the tail of the field. And I do believe, there he is. But Chuck Darling, your race leader, is going to choose the outside into the Sunoco restart zone, and we are back underway with a quick yellow. Payne down to the inside. Here comes the 18 of Devin McDonald. He's trying to take that number 2 spot away. Down through turns 3 and 4. That's a good battle for the number 2 spot. McDonald rolling the outside. Payne to the inside. Zach Coyer back there as well with Jackson McLaren. They swap a little bit of paint. We're going to see this all night long. You are not going to be able to get away from your fellow racers. Scott Negis rolling the outside. He's already up 5 spots into that 7th spot. Negis becoming a regular here towards the end of the season. A little bit of contact there with a 7 of McLaren. And here comes Braxton Luis into the 8th spot, already up 4. Trying to make it 5. He rolls the inside, trying to make it into the 7th spot as they run side by side. You see Deweese nose pointing out just in front right there to the inside. We are on board with the 55 of Negis. That is a good battle, but up front, Chuck Darling leads over Devin McDonald and Andrew Payne. Top 5 of 6 have now gone single file. This side-by-side battle is the first one on the racetrack, and it's the battle for the 7th spot. So he's trying to get the grip down to the inside to get moved around the 55. This time half a car length, but here comes Negis right back to the outside. Braxton Luis still going to take that spot away to move him up to 7th after starting at the tail of the field. Jackson McLaren trying to figure out which way to round the number 13 of Zach Boyer. Driver out of Newfoundland, he runs in the 2nd spot in the Rowdy Energy Drink car. That is Devin McDonald. He's into that 2nd spot as he worked the outside around the 93 of Andrew Payne. And I believe everybody going to try to settle in after that first real quick yellow flag. And everybody's kind of just rolling around, logging laps. A long race here. It'll go by fairly quick, but it is a long race. As you see Andrew Payne catch that apron, checks him up a little bit, loses a little bit of ground to the 18 of McDonald. David Payton trying to make his way back up towards the field. Remember, he got turned sideways, rolled it back in there. He finds himself in that 10th spot right in front of the big boss man himself, the number 1 of Tanner Tallarico. Tallarico out there joining the ranks here this evening. Got to race a little bit this season. Good to see Tanner get out there on the racetrack and be able to race. That's always a plus that you need to do. So right now, they got Darling showing the way. Still up at the point of this one. He's trying to run away, but the top 4 cars now nose to tail. McDonald running in second. Third is Payne. Hahn fourth. Coyer is in the 5th spot. Now Brett Hahn getting up underneath the 93 of Andrew Payne. He's going to take that 3rd spot away. He is trying to go back to back and become a back-to-back champion here in the super late model ranks. Is that 71 of Brett Hahn. Jackson McLaren running in that, or Braxton DeWeese in that 7th spot. He is trying to make something happen here. He is trying to close in on McLaren, who is wearing out the back bumper of Zach Coyer as we go on board with him. So trying to make something happen is McLaren on the 13 of Zach Coyer. All this happening about 2 seconds behind your race leader of Chuck Darling. And Darling out on the point. He is held off the number 18 of McDonald. He's got the 71 of Brett Hahn in 3rd, and Andrew Payne putting the pressure back onto the 71 car. As they battle it out, though, the 13 of Coyer and the 7 of McLaren starting to close in on it. It's just as I say that, Brett Hahn took a peek to the inside, nothing doing. Down to the inside, it'll be the 71 of Brett Hahn. You can start to see those brake rotors starting to glow on those race cars. A lot of brake being used to get these cars to slow down and rotate. Zach Coyer holding off the 7th so far. McLaren trying to get up the racetrack, trying to diamond it off a little bit to get a run. And they have closed the gap in on this front one, so making a 7-car tango up at the front of this one as Darling leads about over a half second over McDonald. McDonald, though, starting to feel that pressure from Brett Hahn. Hahn right there to the back bumper, trying to make something happen. Right now it is Brett the Jet Hahn down to the inside, and he is making some moves underneath the 18. He's got Andrew Payne right there as well, as now Braxton DeWeese has caught the backside of that number 88 of the number 7 car. And the 8 car trying to make something happen. You can see the number 71 moving into the 2nd spot in front of him. Andrew Payne now up underneath the 18 of Devin McDonald. And that is a good battle there for that number 2, for that spot. So they are working it down through the corner right now. They are doing a good job of it right now as they work through the corners. In the top three, Chuck Darling, Brett Hahn, and Andrew Payne. But I tell you, the top seven are nose to tail, and if someone makes just a slip up, it could be disastrous for our championship hopefuls. Here comes the number 8 up underneath the 7 of McLaren. McLaren gives him plenty of space. He knows that the 8 car running for that championship, and he has to make some moves to try to catch up as we got a bid for the race lead. Down in the corners, 1 and 2 up underneath him. Here comes Brett on a little contact. He's sideways, has to check out of it. He makes contact with the 93 of Andrew Payne. Payne up the racetrack as Brett Hahn had to save it. Oh boy, was that something. Hahn going to reel it back in after slight contact up off of turn number 2. Could have been disastrous. Able to hold on to that number 71 as we close in to close off lap 45, this time at the stripe. Charles Darling has led it since the green flag has dropped. Brett Hahn starting to reel him back in. Andrew Payne running third. Devin McDonald's fourth. Zach Coyer fifth. It's Braxton Deweese from 12th to 6th in a matter of 45 laps. Deweese trying to make something happen behind the 13 car. The 13 of Coyer. Moving Devin McDonald up the racetrack. Unable to get by him, though, that time in that 13 Lumina in the Integrity Farms entry. A little bit in your face presented by Pro Coat Powder Coating as they all work around this racetrack in the battle. Devin McDonald starting to feel a little bit more pressure. Braxton Deweese says, all right, guys, you guys figure it out which lane's going to go. I need to get moving. As you race top 3 back to being less than a half seconds separating them. Coyer up underneath the 18 of McDonald. Here comes Braxton Deweese. He's going to fill that hole trying to get by him as well. And he will do so. Move Deweese into the top 5 for the first time here tonight. 7 of McLaren right there as well. He's going to go underneath the 18 Rowdy Energy Drink car of Braxton Deweese. And he will make a move and get by him. But up front, Charles Darling up the racetrack. Here comes the 71 of Brett Hahn. And we saw this in the heat races. The 88 said, all right, boys, if you want to go around me, you're going to have to do it on the inside of the racetrack. He was able to hold off any advances that Andrew Payne sent to him. And so far, Brett Hahn unable to get to the inside of the 88. Now draws about up to the door panel. But up off the corner, the 88 with a little bit more momentum. Through turns 3 and 4, Brett Hahn drawing ever so closer. But that momentum on the outside keeps Chuck Darling as your race leader. Down to the inside, the 88 of Chuck Darling holding off the 71. So far as we close in on the halfway point of this 125 lap contest. Braxton Deweese up to the 4th spot. Now he's got to set his eyes on the 93 of Andrew Payne to separate himself. He's got to get in front of that 71 for any chance at a championship here this season. Brett Hahn has to try to keep it behind the number 88, or in front, of the number 8 Interstate Ford car of Braxton Deweese. He knows that is who he's battling for the championship. And Brett Hahn trying to get to that race lead and become the man that they are all chasing. Currently running in that second spot, and Andrew Payne ready to pounce there. The old wily veteran of the short track racing. Didn't get to see a lot of him this season. When he was always a threat for a win was the 93 of Andrew Payne. Driver out of California making the long tow across the states here to Hickory, North Carolina. This time by cross flags will be up. It'll be 62 in, 63 to go. In your race leader at the halfway point is Chuck Darling. Brett Hahn runs in second. Andrew Payne third. Braxton Louise fourth, and Zach Coyer your top five. Jackson McLaren running in that sixth spot in car number 7. Braden Cook. So he wants the battle for the race lead still go on. And now Payne starting to put pressure on the 71 car. Top 3 still no change, but here comes the 8 starting to roll in on them to make it a 4-car tango up at the front. And I tell you, the number 88, Chuck Darling, doing a masterful job keeping these guys behind him. The 93 starting to roll that outside, trying to make something happen on the 71 of Brett Hahn. Brett Hahn down to the inside. Can he make it stick? No, the 88 is going to have too much momentum on the outside. And I believe the 93 is seeing this and trying to figure out which way to go. '71 of Hahn still trying to get to the inside there. Can't quite do it just yet, but he knows it is time to go. Hahn draws to the inside there, about even through turns 1 and 2. But when on the outside, it's Hahn sideways once again. That's going to allow the 93 of Andrew Payne get to the outside. And here comes Braxton Deweese. Deweese has the whip out. He is whipping the stang. Trying to get up there. Smells the blood in the water. The 71 stuck to the inside. Once again, contact between your top 2 and the points. Braxton Deweese getting into the rear bumper cap of the 71. He allows it to catch it. Good sportsmanship between those two. Well, Brett Hahn tried to make something happen on Chuck Darling and was unable to do it. Now it says, all right, Andrew, you go up there and try to do something with him, and I'll just follow through. Now the rear view mirror starting to get full of his championship bout fight up at the top of this one. It is a heavyweight fight between these two drivers. 71 of Hahn came in with a 7-point advantage over the 8 of Braxton Deweese. Deweese, if he can win this, will get a 15-point bonus. Here as we've got a challenge for your race lead. Chuck Darling up there. A little bit of contact up off the corner from Andrew Payne and Chuck Darling. Darling running that second lane says, hey, I'll leave you the whole bottom lane. If you want to go by me, you got to go by me on the inside. And so far that has been very tough here this afternoon to try to make anything happen. Darling up the racetrack a little bit more. Here comes the 93 once again. He's going to throw it down to the inside. Side by side for your race lead up at the front of this one. Chuck Darling and Andrew Payne. trying to figure out where they are going to come in here with just 46 laps to go. Has anyone saved their tires? Does those slides have hurt the 71's tires here in the later stages of this one? We had one yellow flag back on the opening lap of the race, and it's been green flag since. Braxton Lewis right to the back bumper of the 71 of Brett Hahn. Andrew Payne unable to make anything happen with the 88 of Chuck Darling. Draws even once again up off of turn number 4. Payne to the inside trying to get the 88 up the racetrack. The 88 using that momentum on the outside, and he's still holding on to that race lead. Darling rolling the outside of the racetrack to 93 of Payne running second. Brett Hahn third. Braxton Deweese and Zach Coyer top 5. The top 4 cars nose to tail. We're keeping the eyes right here on this battle. Battle for the race lead and the battle for the championship right there behind them. Lap traffic going to start coming into play. The first car they'll reach is Scott Negis in that 55 car. He is still about 15-20 car lengths in front of this battle for the race lead. Andrew Payne falls back in lane right now. Is now Darling starting to run away a little bit. 0.4 of a second. That's the largest lead we have seen in a little bit of a few laps here. '93 of Payne trying to figure out how to get around the 88 of Chuck Darling. Darling doing a masterful job here this afternoon, has led all the laps in this feature. Was your pole sitter after picking up the heat race win. He is trying to do it. Right now, Brett Hahn doing what he needs to do to win the war. The battle is on the racetrack right now. The championship, though, is in the hands of the 71. Currently, the 8 car needs to get by him, needs to get to the front, and needs to win this race to get those shotgun bonus points. And it is a nail biter. Top 4 cars have broken away from the rest of the field. Tanner Tallarico in that 1 car up to the 5th spot, some 4.3 seconds behind this race lead battle. And Darling starting to stretch it out over the 93 of Andrew Payne. A half second now is the gap back to second. Has anyone saved any of the rubber? Scott Needs is going to take the 55 down the pit road. Closing in on 25 laps to go. In what has been a fantastic race so far for Chuck Darling and Andrew Payne running in second. Now Brett Hahn starting to close back in on the 93. And the 8 car starting to fall off that battle just a wee little bit. Tanner Tallarico coming up through here is Braden Cook working with underneath Zach Coyer to take that spot away. Cook has really come into his own at the last half of this season. Things have really come together for that race team. Has shown speed, has had some really good runs in the making, and just gets caught up in other people's messes. Darling up at the point. He's going to work around the 45 of Harding's. Harding's going to bow out of this one on the pit road as well. Chuck Darling up at the point. He has opened it up almost to a second gap over Andrew Payne and Brett Hahn. Another half second back to the 8 of Braxton Deweese. .22 to go. Chuck Darling really saving the tires, has opened it up to a 1 second lead. Amazing job by that 88 car. I thought maybe he was pushing a little bit earlier too hard, running that outside lane, maybe wearing away those tires. He has proved me wrong. Andrew Payne now falling back. Braxton Deweese going around the outside of him as Brett Hahn has done that. Braxton Deweese rolls the outside through turns 1 and 2, and he will take the third spot away from the 93 of Andrew Payne. And now these two drivers battling out for the championship with 19 laps to go. Did Braxton Deweese save a little bit? Will they run down your race leader, Chuck Darling? We saw the 71 of Hahn battle Chuck a little bit earlier on, made a little bit of contact up off the corner, got sideways. Are they going to be able to get there? That is the question. Yeah, Bubba's About Broke podcast checking in, asking where Racing Jason's been. He's orphan dust. He's playing some softball, and he said he smelled or something. I don't know. I shower before each broadcast, so his loss. I know you guys miss him. You'd rather have him than me. I know. Chuck Darling, though, up on the front of this one, he is trying to check out and hide. Is now the battle through turns 3 and 4. The battle is right now the 8 car trying to get around the 71 with 13 laps to go. He gets around him. He has to get to that race lead to get those bonus points. And Brett Hahn going to try to make it very difficult on the number 8 of Braxton Deweese. He gets to the inside now. Can Deweese make something happen on the 71 car to the inside up off of turn number 2? They draw even down the backstretch. It is Deweese to the inside. This is the battle for the championship. If Deweese can get by him with 11 laps to go, he needs to dispose of him as fast as possible to try to chase down the race leader, who's 1.3 seconds out in front of him. 10 to go. Chuck Darling out and the point. He is letting now puts a lap car between himself and second place running Brett Hahn. Hahn and Deweese battling it out for the second spot. They work down through the corner. They are starting to close back in on the race leader. 8 laps to go for Chuck Darling. Brett Hahn and Braxton Deweese battling it out. This Andrew Payne runs 4th. Tanner Tallarico is 5th. 6th spot, Braden Cook, Zach Coyer, Jackson McLaren, Devin McDonald, and David Payton. Your 10 cars left on the racetrack. Andrew Hardings and Scott Negis have parked it. But Darling has done a masterful job here this evening, out front with a 1.2 second lead with 6 laps to go. Deweese to the inside of Brett Hahn once again off of turn number 4. Will he use the 38 of David Payton as a pick? Side by side off of turn number 4. The 8 car down to the inside. David Payton's going to go to the inside. Will that become a pick for the 71 car? What we have brewing here with 4 laps to go, side by side battle for the second spot. Brett Hahn to the outside, Braxton Deweese to the inside, door to door off the corner, 3 to go. Brett Hahn trying to hold on to become back-to-back champions in the super late model ranks. He will hold off the 8 car that time. Oh, Hahn in the outside wall. That allows the 8 car to get underneath them. Can he pull up in front? He will do so. 2 laps to go. Maybe too late as the white flag flies for Chuck Darling. Darling won the heat race, started on the pole, jumped out to the race lead, and here we go off of turn number 4. Chuck Darling's going to pick up the championship race at Hickory. Braxton Deweese will come home second. Brett Hahn is third. Andrew Payne fourth. Tanner Tallarico is will finish in spot number 5. Braden Cook, Zach Coyer, Jackson McLaren, Devin McDonald, David Payton, Andrew Hardings, and Scott Negis will round out your field. And we will wait for the points tally. I do believe that Brett Hahn will be your your season champion over Braxton Deweese, but we will wait for the official standings to come through here as we head into our post-race show presented by Sunoco. And we'll wait for the official word. And as we do that, we will start our post-race show presented by Sunoco. And we will hopefully talk to tonight's. We'll make sure he is unbuckling down here from inside the car. We will move into here as we are down trackside with tonight's feature winner, Chuck. And Chuck, you made it look fairly easy out there. I thought maybe you had used up those tires working outside, but you proved me to be wrong once again this season. And man, what a great car. What a great race you had here leading all the laps.
Man, oh man, I can't believe it.
I mean, did you know that the outside you were going to be able to go I was as hard as that was, you know what I mean? Like you went around there and you made it look easy. I mean, you had some people challenge you. You had Brett Hahn, who was battling for the championship. He got into your left rear quarter panel, just a little bit off turn number 2 there. Were you nervous that inside lane was maybe going to be a little bit better than the outside?
You know, I always try the outside because it seems like on a lot of the tracks, everybody wants to dive to the inside, and that's like the preferred line. And I figured in practice, I'd, take a chance and try it. And sure enough, it actually worked. So I'm like super, 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 super happy. I just am baffled and at a loss for words.
Well, you come out here. Hickory is quickly become one of my favorite racetracks when I get behind the wheel, which is very limited these days. But this racetrack, very unique turns 1 and 2, and you kind of got like a sweeping 3 and 4. How difficult there for people that maybe not have driven it or just watch these races? How difficult behind the wheel is it to hit your marks and be as good as you were here tonight?
Well, I think the time off might have helped. I took the rust off in a big way. In all seriousness, this was like the first race where I just got out there, and on the initial start, I wanted to start on the outside because I just had a hunch that was going to help because in the heat race, I was able to keep right neck and neck with Andrew, and, I didn't mean to get into him. I misjudged where he was at, but it was just like floating it in and not getting on the gas too quick as you came off the corners because it was a little bit pushy, so you had to roll it in, let it settle, do a little bit of trail braking, and then just ease on the gas, let it drift up to the wall, and then repeat off from every turn.
Yeah, you just made it look so easy out there, and I know firsthand, like, this it's not an easy racetrack, and you just made it look so easy. Congratulations on the win here. We missed you full time this season, but sometimes stepping away and taking a little bit of a break is what is needed.
Yeah, I went on vacation when we had the last LaPlante Triple Crown race, I believe it was, or next to last one. And I figured, what the heck, I just didn't have the ambition. I came back tonight, and it was a scramble getting my computer reset up because, I love my wife, and she's agreed to redo my man cave, and my computer and my sim rig and everything is all over in a different room, and I had to rehook everything up. So it was just, I still am absolute disbelief. I have got to thank Brett, Andrew, all them guys that raced me clean on the inside. I knew if I kept hitting my marks, if there was any contact, it's really incidental because I couldn't really see out my A-pillar to see where they were at. So, kudos to them guys. I knew if there was any contact, it was going to be incidental because those are two of the best guys to race with in any league that I've ran in. And I just find it an honor to be at the top of the charts on this one.
Well, congratulations, and all is all really I have that I can say, man. Like we were talking about, you really put on a clinic out there. Congratulations, and hopefully we get to talk to you a little bit more in the future.
Yes, sir. Real quick, I got to thank everybody at Turn 3 Racing Network, all the sponsors that put extra money in towards the ASRC, Hometown Sunoco, Proco Powder Coating, LaPlante Racing Products. I'm still semi-speechless. I don't know what to say, but I got to thank everybody that I've got on the side of my car, Bertrand Speedway, my buddy Brad Bergevin, Dead Short Race Car Wiring, Northside Towing, Michigan Auto Racing Fan Club, Horsepower Happenings, Eddie's Performance Solutions, How Racing Enterprise, and I gotta thank my graphics guy Mark at Race One Wraps for making this car oh so sweet, and of course the B in B&C Racing, my lovely wife Brenda, for putting up with me.
You definitely cannot forget that, and always leave that one for last, right? That way it's a point. But congratulations, Chuck. We thank you for your time, and go celebrate this one, and we hope to see you in that Street Stock Series starting up here very shortly.
Oh yes, sir. I'm going to reach out to Mark at Race One Reps and get me a new painted up ride. I've already got something in mind, but thanks again, Al. Thanks to you and Jason for all you do for the broadcast. I look forward to going back, and the commentary, priceless. Keep it up, and we'll see you next season.
Sounds good. Thank you very much, Chuck. That is tonight's winner, Chuck Darling, in that number 88 car, and the driver that's going to come home in spot number 2 on tonight's race, it will be the driver of that Interstate Ford, and that is none other than Braxton DeWeese. And Braxton had to come from the back, and what was a little less of a caution, less cautions than I thought we were going to have here tonight. But you're going to come home with that number 2 spot here in the race, and I'm waiting on the official point standings to get there. I think he just fell just ever so short, but man, did you make it interesting and a great battle with the 71 there at the end of the race.
Yeah, just another runner-up finish. Yeah, it's frustrating to not get cautions when you start in the back on the races that you have to start in the back, but it is what it is. We tried to do what we could with it, and we were able to get up to second, and we just didn't have the tires to be able to get around him quick enough and be able to get up the Chuck and battle him. So that's unfortunate, but all in all, to be able to come from the back on the 2 shortest tracks on the schedule with practically no cautions it's pretty cool. So I'll take that, I guess. But gotta give us a championship, so I guess we'll take what we can get.
Yeah, and I know you. I can hear the disappointment in the voice here, and I definitely understand that. But overall, a great season. 5 wins on the season. Some of the cleanest super late model racing that we see week in and week out here, and to go here up, I'll say 120 laps, 123 laps, I think it was exactly. Green flag racing, and there's a lot of hard racing that happened throughout the field, and you had to come through it all, and you got up there and getting the amount of respect that you all have for each other just makes it a pleasure to watch and race. And I know it's disappointing right now, but it's a lot of fun when you know you have the respect of your other competitors.
Yeah, most definitely. To have a race that goes green, and on any league or any race on iRacing is always nice to have. So, like you said, to have the respect with all the other drivers is pretty nice, and for us to all have respect within one another to be able to race clean and not have any cautions is pretty good as well. Although it was unfortunate in my situation, it's always nice to have green flag racing no matter what. So that's good. And, I just wish we could have had them races when we were up front and could have had some of the cautions when we were in the back. But like I said, it is what it is. And we had a good season with 5 wins. We had the same amount of wins as Brett. And we just, like I said, mount it. It's what it is.
Nothing to hang a hat on there. Single digits behind Brett, and you close that up a little bit more. I know second, I get that, but great season. I know you got a lot of partners that back you, support you each week in and week out. We'll roll the red carpet out one last time for you to thank those guys that make it all possible behind the scenes.
Yeah, most definitely. I have a big shout out to Interstate Ford. Yesterday we were in a little points battle just like we were today. I said that last week in our interview, and we were able to get that done, and I was hoping we were able to get it done tonight, and we were ever so close. So, to go back-to-back weeks, first, and then second, I'll take that for consecutive Tuesdays and Wednesdays. So, all in all, we're doing pretty good, and at least we can get one championship of the week. So, we can still celebrate that and be happy and whatnot. Second's better than third, so we could be happy about that as well. But big shout out to Interstate Ford. I look forward to the future and working with them a lot more, and what partnership we can make, and what all we can do to get them out there and get my racing out there as well. So big shout out to Interstate Ford, as well as Allen's Arts Images, Bennett's Biblical, James on Main, Luis Renovations, Food 34 Diecast, Rival Photography, Blaze Designs, and Bully Dog Coffee Company. Like I say, you can use Brax 5 for 10% off, whatever you're going to try or whatever you have tried. So I appreciate Bully Dog for letting me use that. I appreciate you, Alan, everybody that does Turn 3, and everybody that puts on the American Sim Racing Club. And looking forward to the street stocks coming up. That's the car that I might be racing in real life. We're going to try to get. So pretty cool. We're going to try to mimic this as the best we can as what I do in real life, paint scheme wise, and all that stuff. So that's gonna be pretty cool to do, and hopefully we could be one spot better in the championship next season.
Sounds good, Braxton. It's good to hear that you're gonna come back and run the Street Stock Series. Really looking forward to that one, and congratulations on a great season. I know you wanted one spot better, but hey, man, congratulations! What a great season it was. 5 wins, and you're always in the mix there. So that's all you can ask for.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you, man. Take care.
There you go. That's Braxton Luis coming home in spot number 2 here tonight. And a driver that finished 3rd in the battle, but it's going to come home with the big check, the big championship. It is the defending and 2-time Sunoco Super Late Model Champion, Brett the Jet. And Brett, you had to work for that one here tonight. You worked on trying to get by that 88 of Chuck Darling, and then a great battle at the end there with your championship rival, Braxton Luis. Talk us through it.
Yeah, Al, you described it perfectly there. Just trying to race my race here tonight. Knew what I had to do coming in here tonight. You know, a lot of pressure on both me and Braxton to race well. He had a little bit more starting from the back, and I just knew I had to keep this thing facing the right way. Me and Chuck made contact a few times there, just some hard side-by-side racing. I was trying to really make that inside line work, but here tonight it was top side where I was at, so couldn't get the pass done for the lead, but we'll be happy with a third there and walking away with the championship with getting the wall. But yeah, some stressful stuff there, but can't believe it went all green. I mean, that's some awesome stuff by all the drivers in the field here tonight.
Yeah, I mean, we were just talking with Braxton about it, you know, and you guys be able to race as hard as you guys do and beat and bang on each other, but the respect level that is between all the competitors from start, you know, from the front of the pack to the back of the pack is just next to none. And to be able to do 120 plus laps green here at Hickory, I know it wears you out, but that just speaks to the level of competition and the level of drivers that you have here in the American Sim Racing Club.
Oh yeah, hands down, Al. We got some great guys in here that stuck out through the season. Got to give a shout out to all of them spend their Wednesday nights with us. I know car count dropped off there a little bit towards the end, but I think everyone's really pumped up for these street stocks to come on along and spice up this racing, because these supers, as you know, Al, you know, the slightly wrong setup in them, and they can be sometimes not the most fun to drive here on high racing.
No, definitely they can become a handful or whatever, and I'll be honest with you, Brett, I have not even attempted to run the new street stocks, but we got 3 body styles coming up, and they always seem to put on a good race regardless, even with the old without the new body style. So really looking forward to that coming up here in the upcoming season and whatnot. But man, 5 wins this season. Great championship battle with Braxton Louise, single digits. Knew what you had to do here tonight, and you did it. And you're going to become back-to-back champions here in the Sunoco Super Late Model Invitational Series.
Yeah, Al, I tell you what, it feels awesome to walk away with another championship here. Really enjoy the short track racing, as most of my fans know, and all that stuff. So really feels good to walk away with another one, you know, showing that we can put a full season together like we always do. And yeah, those 5 wins, some awesome stuff there. One of them a shotgun win. Those ones always feel the best, from being able to go from the back to the front and end up winning. But yeah, here tonight, like you said, did everything I needed to do. You know, ran a clean race with all the fellow competitors. Give a shout out to Chuck there, Braxton, and Andrew for putting on a great battle with all of us. So yeah, super pumped up. Another season in the books. Can't believe it's already done though, Al.
Yeah, hard to believe that. And you know, we had a lot of great races this season, and you know, congratulations on that championship. It's hard to believe, like you said, it's over. A couple weeks off, and then you guys get right back to it. And you know, no rest for the weary. You gotta go home, build some new race cars. But I know you got some great partners behind you that made this championship season available for you.
Oh yeah, for sure, Al. A bunch of big names on the car, of course. First and foremost, Turn 3 and you, Al, and Jason, when he was able to jump in the booth. Always doing a great job with these. Can't wait to go rewatch these and enjoy this season. Of course, we got Quick Time on the car. You know, if you need that last couple tenths, Quick Time's where it's at with the wraps. They always get some great speed. RHU, you know, we got to thank the teammates here tonight. Nick up there, Dave out here running each and every week, Andrew for jumping on in here tonight racing, and of course Tanner for putting on the lead. Also got to give a shout out to my brother Carson. He jumped in and was a spotter for me here tonight. And then yeah, also on the car, Rogers Media, Roasters Chicken, you know, the Plaza, and everyone else. You know, the Sunoco Fuels, got to give them a shout out. LaPlante Racing Products for picking up that championship in the season. So a lot of people here to thank at LaPlante now on the car, and yeah, a lot of great people, of course. And then can't forget all the Brett the Jet fans out there here tuning on in. I know they're probably on the edge of their seats for this whole race. Of course, gotta give a shout out to my dad, my mom, hopefully tuning on in, and then Grandma Grammy and the girlfriend Jessie and all the other fans of the 71 machine out here tonight. Didn't pick up the win, but walked away at least with the big trophy here, another championship. So we're going to be partying all night here tonight. It's going to be a great time, Al.
Now the last hard hitting question: will we see your dad back behind the wheel next season?
I would like to think so. You know, it might be a little interesting at first with the real life racing still going on, but I think especially once we get into the October, November time frame, we'll see him a lot more on the sim and get more comfortable, because he even admits, you know, he jumps on here, gets a little bit more practice, gets a feel of the cars around him, and it's helped him a ton on the real life side of things. Even on dirt racing, just coming out here racing some pavement, it's helped him a ton, and he's seen improvement, and he thinks this stuff can be pretty close to the real deal.
Definitely can be. We hope to see that, Brett. But congratulations. I hope you don't party too hard. But we'll be down to the 71 hauler here as soon as we wrap up the broadcast. Congratulations on the championship and a great season for the Sunoco Invitational Series here for the American Sim Racing Club.
Thank you, Al. Great job up there. And yeah, we'll be partying, and yeah, with all the friends and family, it's going to be a great one. So everyone take care, stay safe out there, and we'll catch you on the flip side. But we'll be partying. Woo!
There you go. That is your 2024 Summer Champion, Brett the Jet Hahn. And, well, folks, there's only one thing left to do here tonight from the Hickory Motor Speedway, and that is the sign off. And I would like to thank everyone behind the Turn 3 Racing Network scenes for helping get all this stuff put together week in and week out. I want to thank Tanner Tallarico for doing all the hard lifting of putting this series together. If you're interested in running that Street Stock Series, look up the American Sim Racing Club on Facebook. Message Tanner Tallarico, and he can get you hooked up, get you ready to go. We'd like to see some full fields of cars coming up here in the later just a few weeks. I believe they kicks off in August. I misplaced the notes here as we wrapped up, but the Race 1 Street Stocks will be kicking off here for the American Sim Racing Club next. But it's been a pleasure all season long to bring you the action of the American Sim Racing Club Super Late Model Invitational presented by Sunoco, and Sunoco of Cutlerville, a proud supporter of the American Sim Racing Club located just south of Grand Rapids. Hometown Sunoco serves all of Greater West Central Michigan. Tallarico's Boardwalk Subs, Jersey-style soups, subs, and salads, serving West Michigan. Pro Coat Powder Coating, the proud presenting sponsor of the 2024 Perfect Attendance Award. Drivers that competed in all 17 Summer Series races will be eligible for a cash prize after tonight's race, so we thank them for being a pro in the Pro Coat here in covering our Perfect Attendant Award. The Bubba's Bout Broke podcast, dedicated to shining a spotlight on short track racers and local heroes from all across the United States. Listen into the Bubba's Bout Broke podcast each Monday on Apple and Spotify. And LaPlante Racing Products, making sure all these race cars have the parts that they need. LaPlante Racing Products, the proud sponsor of the Triple Crown Series. And that will do it for us here at the Turn 3 Racing Network. We hope you've enjoyed the 2024 Summer Series here presented by Sunoco for the American Sim Racing Club. We will see you on the air each and every night. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and you get notification every time the Turn 3 Racing Network goes live for all the leagues that we provide coverage for. We want to thank Tanner Tallarico and Jason for all their help here this season. We hope to have Jason back in the booth here very shortly. But until next time, everybody, keep it wheels down, and we'll see you in Turn 3. Good night, everybody.